Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna start off this video a little different with my screen. I'm gonna show you how I go into my Cricut app and get the templates for the face masks that I started doing this weekend. I completely forgot that my Cricut machine can do everything for like the cutting and the drawing and stuff, so that's what I'm using. In here you can find the youth, small to medium, and large. I've been using the small to medium for like females and the large for males, but it'll give you all of the information in here as to the mats that you need, the sizes, the fabric. Well, that's whatever you get, but so you'll need two different types of cutouts. I'm doing for the that one right here, I'm doing 7 by 12, and then on these I'm doing 7 by 7, and that means that I'm cutting the fabric to a smaller size because I don't want to waste too much fabric. But that's up to you if you want to keep it the length of the mat. This is just easier for me. In here, my Cricut machine is already working on the template that I chose, which was the small to medium. As you can see, it's writing the details of it, and now it's moving on to the cutting. Right here kind of messed up, but that's what it'll do for me. And then here is going to be the second side, which is going to be the inner side. On this measurement, it'll be the 7 by 12. The 12 will be the long side, and the 7 will be the side that goes down. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. But in here, you'll be able to fit 2 of the masks, and that will be, again, the part of the inside on the mask. All you have to do is just separate it, and if it gets jammed like mine, you can just cut off the little pieces. This right here is part number 2, and then this is going to be the outer side, which is part number 1. It has the little sides to show you where you're gonna do the little elastic thing. So as you can see here, I'm already moving on to sewing. You're gonna wanna sew right where like the marker wrote the line if you're using the Cricut machine, or just do like a couple centimeters off of where you cut. You're gonna do the same for both of the masks. Make sure you only do it on the part that goes in the front. Don't sew the whole mask together. So this is how it's gonna look like once you sew it. Like I said, it'll only be in the front for both sides. When you open it, it'll look like that. So now I'm going to show you how I do the little part for the elastic. All you're going to do is just kind of fold it like there, and then fold it again, and that's where the elastic's going to go. Make sure you can fold it and keep it in place. Otherwise you can use the little safety pins or iron it down so it can be straight and flat. This fabric right here was really nice. It was easy to fold and it stayed folded, but there you can see the little hole. And same on the other side, you're going to want to fold and then do a second fold. Make sure that when you sew them together, do it on the inner side so you can sew before it bends in. That means like at the crease of the second fold, so you don't sew the part where you're going to put the elastic in from. So this is what it's gonna look like. So that's the part that's sewed, both sides. And now I'm gonna show you. Sorry guys, the kids are going crazy fighting over toys. But right here I'm gonna show you the inner part, which is gonna be the smaller part. I'm just gonna fold it to the front side, and then the bigger part that has the folds for the elastic, I'm gonna do a little sewing trim on the outer side, with a zigzag, and that only makes it like more stable. Like, it also makes it look pretty, but it'll make it more stable, so it's not like deshilándose, like the strings doesn't open or whatever. It'll be more sturdy. Just be careful with your fingers. And you just have to be a little careful as well with the shape, because sometimes it'll bend and it'll sew the wrong way. But here you can see, so it'll go over the middle line and it'll kind of just zigzag over. So then I'm gonna keep it on this way, because I'm going to put the smaller, which is that one, and put it on the inside. And you want the fabric with the good side facing each other, because we're gonna sew it right now all together. Okay, so right here we're gonna sew from the ugly side, not the print side. We're gonna sew them together, and make sure you start from where the elastic trimming is, and then inward, because you don't want to cover the entrance of the elastic. And I forgot to sew the inner part just a little to the inside, so it doesn't look so ugly. But either way, it's fine. It'll do the job. And then make sure you're careful with the nose part, because that's where the middle line is, where you sewed those two fabrics together. It's a little harder there. Okay, so then we just cut, and then we flip over to the other side again. This is what it's gonna look like. You start from where the little trimming is on the elastic. Make sure you don't go too in, because you don't want to close off that entrance, and then you're just gonna go all the way down to the other side. Sorry if you guys hear that train, it's Milo playing with his toys. Okay, so once you have it all sewn together, that's what it's gonna look like on the line part. But you're gonna flip it over. So once you flip it over, that's gonna be your mask. This is just the pocket for you to put in the filter. So this is what it's gonna look like. We're gonna try and squeeze the top part together as much as possible. If you want, you can iron it to make it flat, because we're gonna do one last trimming on the top, so it can get a little bit more snatched and fit better. So right around the edge. And like I said, it's a little bit harder on the nose part, because there's been so much sewing in those areas that it gets a little stuck. So just go slow, be careful with your fingers, and then try to make it as stretched as possible and flat. That way you don't sew the wrong areas or sew too much. because that'll take the shape away from the mask. So this is what it'll look like after you do that final step. So that's the inside and the outside. And this fabric was super cute. I found it at Walmart and got 2 inches. This part right here is where the elastic is gonna be. What I did was put in a bobby pin on the elastic, and I just kind of just put the bobby pin all the way through that elastic hole and slid it down. So once it's all the way in, I just took off the bobby pin from the elastic and I just made a little knot at the ends. Depending on the elastic, you don't want to make it too long either, because then it won't fit your face properly. But I just did a small little cut right here, and then I tried to hide that knot back inside. So I just slid it all the way to the entrance of the mask and just hid it inside of the fabric. Just because I don't want that knot rubbing on my ear, because then I don't want to get cuts or hurt my ear. So this is how it looks. But this is what it's gonna look like once it's completed, and it'll go on both sides. This is how it should look. So this obviously is the inner side, and then the piece with the little zipper or zigzag is the front. So this is what the mask looks like on. This one right here is a little bit looser on me because I had been making them with the fabric going all the way up here, just because I hadn't found elastic. I still haven't found elastic, but I'm improvising with what I'm finding. But yeah, that's the only reason why it's a little looser. Also, my face, I feel like it's a little bit more small, so this is like for like a small to medium. And then in the beginning where I showed you my Cricut app, that's where you'll find the bigger sizes. I think that's only for Cricut users, but you can also find different prints online, and you can also, instead of using the Cricut machine, obviously you can just hand cut all of the fabric like I was doing before. If you guys really like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it, show all your people how to make fabric face masks. Go ahead and help out everyone that needs right now. Don't forget to stay safe, take care, wash your hands 6 feet away. Don't go out to the stores unless you really have to. Don't be one of those people. Alright, and see you later.